Welcome back to Uncle Archer's projects. Let's see what we got. I took this in for 15 bucks. Not bad for the guy, but he spent 50. It wouldn't have been a bad deal. It's an old one. God, this got probably be like 80s. Got a nice bag on it. It's all here except, notice the sponge, and that's today's sponge too. Nasty razor blade there. Let's take this thing apart. Let's see. It does run. I did get it to run. It blows a little smoke. It's a little nasty, but these were heavy-duty motors and that mowers, and that's why it's still here. So let's take a look at it. Let's see what we can do with it. I'll get started on it. I'm going to take off the bag and a few other parts. I'm going to send it into the cleaning aisle. We'll get it cleaned up, deloused. I know the underside looks okay. And let's see what happens. Let's get it to clean up and make it look nice. And we'll put it up for sale for about, somebody will like this. Somebody will like this for about $75, $65. Right? Okay. It's got a pet cock on it. Let's get a kick out of that language. There you have it. And there you have it. Let's take a gander. Spring is a little borked. Put that back on. Look at it. Let's take a walk through. It's going to clean up nice. I'm going to take that top cover off. What do you think? It's got a blade brake on it, so it's not all that old, but it's still got years on it. Maybe I'll take this off, so I could probably repaint it. Probably would look pretty nice if I do. Let's stick that socket in there. Get it all cleaned up. This should come off. Nice. Look at that. Look how clean it is. Not even rusted. Like newer ones that are all jacked up. It's dirty and it needs some service. Look at that. Oh, look at the way this shoe wraps around. It's like a whole shoe. It's not just pads. Get a load of that. Get a load of that. Let's take off our fancy air cleaner that we have going on here. Probably strip the threads. Well, at least he put a gasket on it. You see that? Look, there's a gasket on that. At least there's a gasket on there. At least. Okay, at very least. Alright, we're ready for cleaning. I want to take this off next. Let's go see if we can get those off. Let me spray a little lubricant on it. And we'll take that off. And then it'll be free of all the extras. And we'll get all this stuff cleaned up today. And if I don't put it together tonight, at least it'll be clean. It's Friday, and as much as I want to work really late, because that's what I do, it is Friday. I'm tired. And gee, it would be nice to slow down. I don't know how. So I don't know what slowing down is going to do for me. We'll be able to breathe some life back into it and make it nice for sale. Alright, what do you think? Not bad. That was quick. I'm going to bring it down. We're going to squirt it. Squirt it while it's up here. I'm going to squirt it real good. We'll squirt it a little bit. I'll have to put some more squirt in here to get to all the other parts. But I'll get out my tub. We'll soak things in the tub. Rubber dub. We'll soak it in the tub. Get this thing really nice and cleaned up so somebody can have a really nice clean mower. And it won't have years of crud on it. It's going to look and smell nice too. Maybe put a little hanging air freshener tag on it. I might even paint the letters white again. Yeah, we'll bring it back to white. Make them bright. Yeah, I gotta mix some more jizz. Re-jizzify it. Oh yeah, the jizzes. Clean it a little bit. Make up some new jizz. We'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to make some more jizz. We're going to soak this stuff up. Get it clean. What do you think, guys? It's going to clean up nice. It's a nice little project. That it kind of runs. I know I should have started for you guys, but believe me, it runs. It smokes a little bit. Not bad. But it was just trying to manipulate the choke and everything. But I tested it before I took it. Alright.
20 minutes later.
Oh, look, it's pinging an awful lot of fuel out of it. That's a lot. That's been going for a while. Good heavens. It's nasty. Yeah, it's old. See what we got. Oh, look at that. It's in nice shape. There's like nothing wrong with this thing, really. I've seen worse. These things were built well. Let me spray that up. It's even got a decent blade on it. Look at the size of that blade. Holy jeebas. Alright, let's spray that up. Get this thing over in the line. Get it cleaned up nice. I'm going to empty the fuel out of the fuel tank. Make sure everything gets clean. I used to save some of the parts from these things because I like these. I like the self-propelled ones back in the day. I had one when I first moved in, and then something happened to the deck. It like rusted and a piece blew through the side. And it was really dangerous, and eventually I just gave up on it. But I had that thing forever. I'm old now, so I've been around for a long time. It's like when I say I've had it for a while, it's probably true. I'm probably under-exaggerating. Let's tantalize on the side. A right and proper bath. It stinks. That fuel just stinks. Good for cleaning stuff. Nowhere have I not gotten. We got to go do. All right, we're gonna call it. I'm gonna go empty the fuel out of the fuel tank and get that thing cleaned.
Eventually.
All right, it's getting late in the day. Looks like clouds. What do you guys think? Looks good, huh? That's cleansed. That is cleansed. She looks good. So, what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to just wipe it down, blow it off, and I think I'm going to try and paint it red because that Rust-Oleum paint takes forever to dry. So if it doesn't rain, that's what I'm going to do. In the meantime, I got some stuff to clean up. I have a few other things to do. I'm going to collect everything, put as much away as I can. And also, this gas is so bad. It's stinking up the yard. That's what came out. And he was trying to run that. So I have a place to put that, and I want to get some alcohol in this tank, and I'm trying to get the last little bit of water out of it, and then I want to put it inside, you know, to dry for overnight. And I think if I can get this painted, and then I can stick it, and take the carb off or whatever, and it's like 5 or something. It's getting late. Maybe I'll just paint it, and I'll take the carb off tomorrow. Focus on that. Alright, and clean up out here before it rains and before it gets to the end of the day. We'll be back. Don't forget to, subscribe and hit the like button and the bells and leave some comments.
Tomorrow for sure.
Oh, I cracked the carb. Opened it up. It's like a jelly in here. It's not that bad. It stinks though. It stinks bad. It's not that bad. Yeah, I mean, basically, by running it, it cleaned it out a little bit, but also by running it, it created sludge and rinsed the gack deep into the carburetor. Let's get it cleaned up. This gasket's in nice shape. Not sure what the year is, but look, it's got this type of flange with the, actually uses the O-ring, and it's got adjustments here, which is impressive. Really nice, you know. These older ones, it's a real carburetor too. The weight of it compared to the new that's out there, junk that's out there today. This is really nice. You know, it's going to be nice. Let's empty this out. Let me go get a little bit of thinner. That might be nasty in there, but it did run. There's some naggies in there. I can feel it. We really need to get that cleaned out. Let me blow it, and then we're going to rinse it. Alright, I'm going to freshen this up. Do a good douching, and I'll be back. Okay, welcome back to the old snapper. And so, she's all about ready to start. So, obviously, you know, remember, if you remember this nice air cleaner. So what I did was I took one of these newfangled ones, I cut the offending piece off, hacksawed it, and I'm going to grind this down. It's still a little bit in the way, but it looks like it's going to fit. We'll grind that out of the way, and we're going to use the supplied gasket. And if we can get this off in one piece, we'll use the supplied gasket. Which it looks like we'll be able to get that. We'll use that on there. Let's check to see what screws these are. I don't know if they're correct or not. Hopefully they are. So it'll get a modern air cleaner. I think these will work. It's hard to say. They just have to, they look like they're the right ones. They might just be, I think they just got a lot of gack on them. So, and they don't go in very far. So let's go do that, and I'll be back with a test on this thing. We'll do a test run. I just have to do, what did I do? I looped up this side, the wheels here. This one I put a washer in. This was a little worn. I'm going to check the other side. I'm going to flip it, do the blade, and then I'll come around and I'll do a start. Alright, because let's just get all that done. And if it starts up and runs good, I'll do the oil change, and I'll do, I think with this one it's easier to do the oil change from the bottom because of where the dipstick is, unless I take that chute back off. So that's one of the problems with that. But let's just get it running, we'll do the oil change. See how nice and clean these shafts are. Of course, I'm going to put it back on with some lubricant. Yep. So I'm going to put a washer on because it's a little worn back here. The plastic gets worn. That's okay. I'm going to tighten up the wheel a little bit. Now it's not going to wobble. Just take it off a little bit more. There we go. Now it's not going to wobble, and because it's lubricated, he's not going to have a problem. So another thing I like to do is spin these back, put a little lubricant on them. Because somebody's going to try to turn this in or whatever, and you know they want to go put it in the car and it won't move. That's famous. So let's not have that problem. Alright, we'll just do a quick shot. Look at that, it's like a new blade. New blade, right? I'm going to sharpen that up real quick. It doesn't even really need it. It's a new blade. Look how nice that looks. Alright, everything's, all the adjusters are working, wheels are tight, lube. Right, you know, just wet the seal down a little bit. Let that roll in there. That's a snapper blade too. It's a snapper right on. So this thing's quality. Alright, let's see if it starts. I might have the valve on wrong. But we have it to choke. Gas is in it. Let's grab the... Notice it dropped in RPM and it started to sputter. Now I'm not sure what that is, but we're going to check the gas again, and there is an adjustment on the carb. We're going to check the oil. Okay, could be a tired motor, and we're going to do a compression test now that it's warmed up. There's oil in it. It's old. Okay, I can guarantee you that. So that should be enough oil in there. The oil shouldn't be a problem. We're going to want to adjust it here and see if we can get some more of adjustment out of it. But she's clean, you know, she's a good body, and even if this motor is a little worn, this thing's in such nice shape I don't see how worn it could be. There could be a little crap in the gas still. I did try to get everything out. So that's another thing we can look at. Alright, we'll be back in a little bit. We'll see what we can do. Okay, let's see what we got. And this is one of the reasons why I always like to do a compression test, and I know this one is old and it's tired, and you can see she's not quite burning all the fuel. Now, and compression test reveals that she's about a little over 50 pounds, and that's with it warmed. If you can get about 75, you got something. Let's try it again. Spin it up a little bit. Okay, now we're getting about 55 pounds or so, and that's close. Right. I'll tell you what I did in a minute. It's running stronger. Still blowing smoke. But we'll see. Hold on. Okay, a little bit of smoke coming out of the crankcase. Running strong. And we'll throttle it up a little bit for you. Okay, so what I did was I put 2-stroke oil with gas and some tranny fluid down the plug hole. Turn the thing on its side, plug hole facing up, pulled it through, let it soak in, put the friction modifier in the oil. And some of what you're seeing in terms of smoke, that's blow-by, but that's because the blow-by, the crankcase vent tube isn't connected to the air cleaner. So I can find a tube, an extension tube for that. It's some of those little rubber elbows. You wouldn't even see that smoke. It would just be sucked right back in. So let's just do another quick start. Let's see what we have here. See if it starts. Okay, we're going to let it cool down for a few minutes. I'm going to pull the plug, we're going to check the plug and do a compression test and see where it's at. And if it came up a little higher, that's a good sign. Might try that procedure one more time and then run it up for another 10 minutes and see what I get out of it. You know, it might be worth, for somebody, $75. And they'll get a lot of years out of it. But if I fix it, you know, it's only worth about $100. Alright, we'll be back in a bit. You can see the plug is running very clean, and she's about 50 pounds still. I'm going to try doing another flush through the combustion chamber, but it's like the tuning is great, even though it's burning a little bit of oil, but it's really not. So let's see what we can do with another flush, and I may want to pull the oil and put some thicker oil in there, just clean oil. And so that we have good oil in there, because you know when oil gets bad, it doesn't really do what it's supposed to do. And let's give it a pull. Pull a couple times. Okay. Let's see what we got. Okay, so that's 50 pounds. It's a little over 50. All right. Now we're going to squirt a little oil in it, and we'll see what we get. See what we have. Okay, so there's no real mechanical issue, but you see it went up to 75, and so that's a good compression, but that's with oil in it. So when she's running, she'll probably come up there because the fuel is coming in, wetting up the cylinder a little bit. But when she's dry and you go to start it, she'll have a bit of a problem starting. This might sweeten it up a little bit. Starting. I will burn off some of that carbon. That, you know, I let it sit in that cylinder for a while. Right side up. Let it sit, walked away, did something else. Yeah, I think it's done. I think it's good enough. I'm going to check it in a bit. We'll check it for a startup when it cools down. Make sure there's no excessive smoke or anything, but I think if I just clean out that oil and put some friction modifier in. You saw the plug, it looks so much better. It's running strong. Okay, so as long as it starts up acceptably, alright, I think we're good to go. Alright, we'll be back. And so that's, you know, guideline. I looked it up online. They say 40 psi. You know, anything below that obviously is no good. But you know, the lower the compression, the harder it's going to be to start. But if it has good power and it's running like this, I think we're all right. We're just looking for excessive smoke, a few other issues, and if we can just get that compression consistent and the engine running well. I don't hear any noises. So 40 psi. I'm at a little over 50, 75 when it's wet. She's still got life left in her, and with a good friction modifier in and proper gas and the way that it's tuned, she'll run for many seasons. All right, we'll be back in a little bit, and thank you for checking out Uncle Arch's projects. And I'm Uncle Arch, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and donate and hit the bell and all those things. Everybody tells you to do that stuff. Anyway, so I think this is another successful project. We'll come back in a little bit and we'll check it. We'll do the oil and whatever and put it up for sale. I think somebody's going to get a really good lawnmower. All right, see you guys later. We're going to get to the next project.
1 hour later.
All right, we're going to do our last startup here before an oil change. And probably won't need the choke on there, but we'll put a little bit of choke on it. Let's see. And there you have it. There's no leak down oil, blow by, whatever you want to call it, that is causing it to just blow oil right out. So maybe if it's left for a week or whatever, it might have a little, but nothing immediate. It's not like my overhead valve Honda that does it right away, it seems like. All right, I'm going to put it up on the table. We're going to take that chute off and we're going to empty the oil. Probably, well, we don't have to take a chute off. We'll put it up on the table and we'll get from underneath, and then we'll dump it into something that way so we don't disturb it. And I'm going to put fresh oil in it, and we're going to put it up for sale.